It was a beautiful day. The wind was blowing slightly as the linens were swaying softly. I was sitting on a lounge chair out into the backyard, drinking some sweet tea and smelling the different aromas that my wife was cooking. Since the windows were open, you could just imagine the ambiance. This was to be a great day. Since we were both off, we had planned to do nothing, and actually planned for a while. Finally, a day of rest and relaxing for us. She steps out onto the back porch and tells me that supper is ready, and asks me to grab the linens off the line since they should be dry anyways. I said, "Sure, baby," as I noticed a certain gleam to her face, as if she wasn't beautiful enough. In fact, I've noticed today that she was just carrying herself very well, and she was more chipper than usual. I guess this is the day off, that I thought to myself, but I grabbed the linens and stepped inside the kitchen. I set the basket of linens down and then sat down at the table. She already had the table set with some light music playing, and a box fan was blowing in the background because we just loved the sound. As we ate dinner, we talked about and cut up as usual, and we talked about various things such as possible dessert for later, a movie to watch before bed, and so on. She then reminded me about letting her coworker borrow her car for the weekend since hers was tore up. I would like to mention that they carpool because they both work at the same place. I tell her that that's fine because my truck is still sitting in the driveway. Moving in to the late evening, early night, about 8 o'clock or so, we ate the cherry cobbler that she made for dessert and then got our shower and then off to bed. As she gets our movie ready, I'm making the bed, shooing the cat off of the bedroom. He's attached to the wife. We lay down, watch the movie. A couple hours later, we kiss and then we get some shut-eye. During the night, I think it was around 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm awoken by a burst of thunder, and someone knocks on the front door. With eyes squinting, I get up and go to the door. I look through the peephole and see that it's a cop. So I open the door. As soon as I open the door, the policeman steps in. Though I didn't invite him in, he just stepped in because of the rain, I guess. I ask him what was wrong. He shows me a picture and asks me, "Is this your wife?" As I look down at the picture, it's a woman that looks if she's laying on the ground unconscious. I say, "Yeah." The cop informs me that she was in a car accident yesterday and did not survive. The car was also totaled, and there was another lady in the car as well, but she survived. I told the cop that this was impossible because my wife was upstairs in the bed with me and that we spent all day together yesterday. We both walked upstairs and stepped into the room. She was gone. In fact, her side of the bed seemed to be undisturbed. I screamed to the top of my lungs and felt my chest drop as many emotions just flew out of me. I began to question my sanity as I walked and paced the floor. I walked up to the cop and said, "Take me to her." He told me to just calm down as I went and sat down and sobbed, and I honestly believe that I felt like I was going insane. He handed me a card with the name and number of the morgue where my wife was at, and then he left. I walked over to my love seat, plopped down, and just closed my eyes. I thought to myself that this could not be happening, and my mind was still just racing. Finally, what seemed like years to me, it was finally 7 o'clock. I looked down at the card, I got the address, and I left to go see what I did not want to see. As I was driving, I was thinking about her friend that carpooled with her. I would definitely be talking to her at some point. I finally arrived to the morgue after about 20 minutes, and I rushed to the entrance and went in. Up to the desk I went and fumbled trying to get my wallet to show the receptionist my ID. She asked me who I was there to see. I said my wife. I told her my wife's name, and then she led me into the back. We walked over to the proper area, then the lady opened the drawer. She unzipped the bag, and then I collapsed. After a minute, the lady helped me up and then looked. I just looked again and threw up. I told her I had to go, so I left. I just gripped my fist and left. After I got back home, I laid down, and then the old cat jumped up into the bed with me. I figured I'd let it stay since he's all I have left. I was up all night thinking, and all day, of my wife and that we had spent together all the time. And the ghost, she was a ghost. I remember her telling me that we would spend a day off together if it killed her. I didn't know it would be literal. Love you, baby, as I looked up and said goodnight.